My God! My God! Ah, guys!
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I really wish that I could just put nothing but one of the Friday the 13th theme songs as like the background music for this video, because the scores to these are fucking great. They're along the lines of, Halloween to me. Each theme song has a different feel to it. And part 3's disco theme is probably like one of my favorites. But this is where you see we're on Friday the 13th part 7. Part 7's original plan would have changed the franchise. We've got 3 articles to talk about. I'm not going to read them all. We're just going to go over points from them. Friday the 13th must fix one of the silliest sequel scenes. That's a tongue. Silliest sequel scenes. I sound like Mr. Herbert. Friday the 13th's reboot could fix a slasher trend. All right. I'm a huge fan. This is my favorite horror franchise, so you guys are going to have to bear with me out there. You're like, but ETEP, it's September. What are you doing Halloween content for? Well, that's horror content. I love horror, and I want to start covering this more on the channel, even if it be older horror movies on a year-round basis. I don't want to wait for October to do horror content. Let me know in the comments if you guys want more horror content from me, because that's something that, see, this is the thing, all right? Like, I can sit here and do news videos until I'm blue in the face to get 30 to 50 views. Or I can, do, I don't want to call it niche content as far as horror goes. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. It's early. But my dog would stop barking. I would love for her to not bark. That would be great. Every time a squirrel runs in the yard or a leaf falls off a tree, or the mailman comes by. Am I supposed to call him mail person now? Anyway, I want to do more horror. Motherfucker. I want to do more horror content year-round. And I want to tailor this channel more to things that are enjoyable and good. Friday the 13th might not be, a tour de force, a cinematic masterpiece as a whole, the series, the franchise. But they're enjoyable. They're fun. I mean, if I had my druthers, I would just sit here and review old movies and do 1 to 2 videos a week, and that would be it. But they would be like, 20 to 30 minute in-depth reviews, and stop doing, pop culture news, even though some of them are fun to do and I get to make fun of shit, and reviewing shows like She-Hulk and things of the like, and just do, the live streams, our weekly live streams, our members content. And that would be another thing, like, members. I know if the members were like, hey, we want to know about this relevant, news topic. Okay, well, let's talk about it in either a members video or a live stream. And I'm rambling here at the beginning of the video because it's early, lack of coffee. And this is stuff that I actually genuinely enjoy, is horror. So, Friday the 13th reboot could fix a recent slasher trend, unlike Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, which Vassy and I reviewed. Scream 6, not going to bother with it. Halloween Ends, Cleveland Brown's going to review it. And a Friday the 13th reboot is perfectly positioned to pull off a final girl trick. And this is something I used to enjoy in the horror movies, was the final girl trope. It really never got old, because they would build to it, and Friday the 13th Part 1, especially with Alice. So let's talk about this a little bit. We'll just kind of go through this article here. A number of slasher reboots have annoyed franchise fans by killing off or underusing iconic final girls. But a Friday the 13th reboot is perfectly positioned to pull this emerging genre trend off successfully. The Friday the 13th franchise is not the straightforward series of slasher movies that critics sometimes depict it as. Despite frequent comparisons to the Halloween franchise, Friday the 13th has a weirder, more complicated, and less consistent history as a series. And it does. There was talks for years of introducing Jason Voorhees' father, Eli Voorhees, or Elias Voorhees, to the franchise, and it never happened. It was supposed to happen in post-credit scenes or, you know, I think they did it in like maybe a novelization or a comic. But yeah, that would be, I'm going to say it, that would be kind of cool, because we know his mom is the driving force for a lot of his rage, and, you know, him coming back from the dead and, you know, becoming this spirit of vengeance that was once a man and now, or a boy, a human, and now not. You know, like I said, we had this discussion with myself and Fanscene and Justin Proper probably about a year ago. You know, Justin thinks Jason's a human, and I can see that school of thought because you base it on the 2009 reboot, which I absolutely hate. I hated it. Jason Voorhees is not Leatherface. He's not going to know how to rig up lights and, you know, set snare traps and have an intricate system of tunnels. That never really resonated with me as a movie. The kill scenes in the movie were great. Seeing Willa Ford topless at that time, a chef's kiss. You know, call it the old-fashioned, you know, toxic masculinity in me, but if there's one thing that these franchises, as Friday the 13th in general, always had, it was really hot women and gratuitous nudity, which was a staple of the 80s horror genre. You know, see the topless nurse in Friday the 13th 3 Dream Warriors, which still one of my favorite horror scenes of all time, when Joey is, you know, hung up by the bed with the tongue, you know, holding him there. And yeah, that, I think I wore my VHS copy pausing it out on that nurse, but you know, I was like 10, 11 years old. Where the Halloween sequels all took themselves seriously, as John Carpenter's influential 1978 original, which Sean S. Cunningham, you know, spoke on, that Friday was kind of a rip-off of that. Although I love Halloween. I do. That is a fucking phenomenal franchise. Just the first two movies. And there's been, you know, part 4 is my favorite one, though, of all. The first two movies are great. The third one, as a standalone, awesome. Love it. Don't dislike it at all. Have nothing bad to say about it. Part 4 is my favorite out of all of them, though. I love Friday 13th. Halloween Part 4. Let's see here. Jason X, that one, I mean, you can watch it and laugh, you know. There's some, like they said, there's some moments of suspense in there. The concept of it, though, Jason in space, I was like, miss me with that shit. Jason belongs in Crystal Lake, you know, which is in New Jersey. We just don't want to see him wander haplessly behind any dumpsters out behind pizza parlors to where he might hear I don't know. Meanwhile, when every Halloween movie saw the franchise's villainous masked madman Michael Myers killing off interchangeable victims, Jason Voorhees didn't even appear in the original Friday the 13th until a post-finale dream sequence was replaced by a copycat in one sequel and became a body-hopping demon in a later movie. That's Jason Goes to Hell. That was horrible. Terrible concept. Adam Marcus, that directed that fanzine, has, I believe, interviewed him. And he said that, you know, and it's known that Sean S. Cunningham wanted him to get the mask off of Jason, which is a horrible idea. It's iconic. You don't take Freddy's glove away, and you don't take Jason Voorhees' mask away. That's like seeing Pinhead without pins in his head. It'd just be me in white makeup. So the copycat in Friday the 13th Part 5, Roy the ambulance driver, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, you can go watch my review. I reviewed the mainline 8 films in this franchise. I refuse to do Jason Goes to Hell, Freddy vs. Jason, or the Platinum Dunes Friday the 13th. I'm not going to do it. They're garbage. They're garbage. They're fucking garbage to me. If you enjoy them, that's one thing to me. I just look at those like, I look down my nose at those movies. I really do. Since Friday the 13th franchise is no ordinary set of slasher movies, despite its ignominious reputation among reviewers. Yeah, reviewers don't like, and I'm talking main critics, not YouTube reviewers. Main critics never understood this. It was, oh my God, it's misogyny. You're killing off women. It's like, it's a movie. Like, I never understood that. Like, I never understood that. The reboot of the slasher series could avoid, subvert, or deconstruct a lot of genre trends. No deconstruction. For the love of fucking God, we have had enough deconstruction throughout our franchises. We do not need it here. Just let it be a horror slasher franchise. That's what this movie, that's what its lifeblood is, okay? It needs to be that. We don't need deconstruction. That's garbage. That's, I don't want to say it, but that's Marxist shit. That's what we see from all these companies, is Marxist deconstruction. You know, it's demoralization. It's tearing down our mythology. Star Wars, Rings of Power, Any other franchise you can think of, Marvel, any other franchise you can think of, it's going on there, and we don't want to see that here. Why returning final girls don't always work. Okay, this is the Leatherface. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 2022, which I said Vassy and I reviewed. It was fucking trash. The girl from the first one that survived coming back is, it was clearly supposed to be Jamie Lee Curtis, a Jamie Lee Curtis at Laurie Strode-esque character, but she was a complete fucking moron. Like, it seems like she survived all these years. She's had a great law enforcement career, but she goes after Leatherface and just becomes a complete fucking moron. And, the garage mechanic who was, the influencers in the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they tried to make him out to be this, like, redneck fucking hillbilly. And the way he died was stupid. I'm like, this guy obviously knows how to handle himself, but yet when he's confronted with this situation, he goes and acts like a complete fucking moron. I'm like, I hated the movie. I hated it. So they're talking about bringing back Alice in this. Alice is dead. To me, that is, I don't want this franchise to go off the rails. I really don't. I don't understand why they would bring her back. She got killed in the beginning of the second movie by Jason in her house. This doesn't make any sense why they would bring her back. I don't want the Halloween franchise influence to go, oh, well, let's ignore every other movie except for the first one. No, stop it. We don't, please. I know that this is a derivative of Halloween franchise. I know. But some 40 years later, now you choose to set yourself apart, make that line in the sand, and do it. The rights went back to Victor Miller from Cunningham. So I want to see this handled right, as Victor Miller was the original screenwriter. The original Friday the 13th heroine died in the opening of Friday the 13th Part 2, swiftly offed by Jason as a revenge for killing his mother, Pamela Voorhees, in the original movie. However, if the franchise creators wanted Friday the 13th to borrow Halloween slasher reboot formula and retcon the sequels, which it should since they are contradictory, confusing, and totally inconsistent. Fuck you. This is written by somebody who knows nothing about this franchise. I'm sorry. They know nothing. You could go straight up through Part 8. And I've said this on a live stream. You go straight up through Part 8 and ignore the rest of them. Ignore the rest of them, and you still can make it work. I don't understand this. Let's go all the way back to number 1 and just ignore all the other movies. And it's like, no. The hardcore fans of this franchise, like people like me, are not going to fucking be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's what made Halloween shit the bed. Halloween 2018 was shit. It was garbage. Fuck David Gordon Green. Fuck Danny McBride. You fucking morons don't know what you're doing. Halloween Kills. That was shit. Yeah. Oh, here's fucking 15 firefighters who are in peak physical condition and have weapons, but they're all just going to wait to attack this fucking retard one at a time, or after they see him off 3 people, they're just going to all stand there and die one at a time. I understand there's certain things that have to happen to move a plot, but making characters into fucking morons insults the audience. It insults the paying customer. It insults the people that are invested in your fucking franchise. But please, keep making Halloween movies shit so I have something to rip on. I don't want to do that because I love Halloween. But it's like, god damn, like how stupid are you? Like, I don't understand why people are like, oh, David Gordon Green. So, as shitty as those movies are, they're still not as bad as the Rob Zombie ones, though. But let's bring it back to the main point here with Friday the 13th. It's a horrible idea. So Adrian could reintroduce Adrian King's Alice, a part that she already revived in the recent Jason fan film, Jason Rising. I need to watch that. I still need to watch Never Hike in the Snow. I've watched like the opening of it, and it was so cool, and then I fell asleep. It was late, but I want to watch it because Never Hike Alone was phenomenal. For a fan film, they did a wonderful job. And getting Tom Matthews to appear as somebody who Friday the 13th Part 6 is my favorite entry into the franchise. I like it. And kill off the character to establish the merciless nature of this new version of Jason, clarify his backstory, and clear up any lingering confusion about the canon of the series in one felt swoop. Okay, so bring Adrian King's character back and then fucking kill her off to set the tone for the franchise. Whoever wrote this is they're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, they're a fucking idiot. Like they don't know shit about this franchise. Why Friday the 13th can kill off Alice. A potential Friday the 13th reboot would be well positioned to kill off King's Alice since the character never beat Jason before. She killed Mrs. Voorhees and had a nightmare about Jason attacking her at the end of Friday the 13th, but never faced a slasher villain until Friday Part 2. While movies like Halloween Ends may have problems with ending in a satisfying way since no one wants a legendary final girl to die, but the monster is undermined if the heroine can't be killed. This is true, and that's why Alice is already dead. You don't need to bring her back. A Friday the 13th reboot that retcons everything after the original movie could both bring back that movie's final girl and kill her off to prove that the new version of Friday the 13th means business. I say you reset you don't reset the franchise, but you restart the franchise from the end of Part 8 and set it in like 1988 to 89. You know, the movie was released, I believe it was like 88 or 89, I want to say. I can't remember. I have to look back because that was the last one I reviewed. But bring those back to that. Bring it back to that time frame. Don't be like, oh, we have to set it in modern times with modern sensibilities. Nobody's going to want to see pronouns in a fucking Friday the 13th movie. If you think they do, you're not a fan. You're not a fan. That has no place in this. No, they shouldn't bring Alice back. You know, that doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. It makes no sense. So that's one article. The other one, Friday the 13th must fix one of the silliest sequel scenes. One of the goofiest death scenes in a Friday the 13th. One of the goofiest death scenes in Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, could be the basis of seriously scary reboot of the slasher franchise. If I could talk. I'm not editing any of this out, by the way. You're getting this video as is. I might edit out like maybe one or two pieces. They're talking about the paintball sequence here. And this is my favorite Friday the 13th movie. So I get very protective of this franchise. So first of all, let's see who's writing this. This is written by Cathal Gunning. He's been writing about movies, so he's been writing about movies for 2 years. His obsessions include The Simpsons, Stephen King, the Scream series, and the horror genre in general. He spent more time thinking about Stranger Things than the writers of Stranger Things since he's never seen a Star Wars. This guy's a fucking moron. Yeah. This guy's a fucking idiot right off the bat. Just looking at his articles. Yeah. So Cathal Gunning. I mean, the guy looks like a cunt to begin with. But no, this. I will scroll through. We're already at 18 minutes here. This is going to be a 20 to 30 minute video. But let's see here. Okay. So while the paintball scene in Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, is only a brief comedic vignette, the sequence could be the basis of a full-blown reboot of the tired slasher series. Right there. This guy discredits himself. I'm a horror fan. This is a tired slasher series. There hasn't been a movie since 2009. And 2009, 2003, and... Well, I forgot Jason X. Yeah, Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell, which came out in like 95, I think. Get rid of those four. Those are garbage. You don't even include those. The Friday the 13th movies have been in a funk for some time now. There hasn't been a movie in, 12 years. Currently trapped in a long-running battle over who owns the rights to Jason Voorhees and Camp Crystal Lake, the Friday the 13th series faced declining box office receipts, woeful reviews, and a mixed fan reception for years before this feud even began. When did this article come out? August 14th this year. Okay. The rights issue was settled between Miller and Cunningham. Of course, Cunningham will probably appeal it. But as far as I know right now, they're working on a reboot to this. And this guy, this opening paragraph right here just lets me know this guy has no respect for this franchise. Yeah. See, however, 2009's underrated Friday the 13th reboot offered a glimmer of hope for admirers of the slasher franchise. Jettisoning the goofy humor and over-the-top antics that defined the later sequels, the Friday the 13th remake was grim, gory reintroduction to Jason that made the character scarier than he had been in years. No, he wasn't. Part of what made this reinvention so effective was Friday the 13th remake's revelation Jason had been ecking out in existence, set in tunnels hidden deep beneath Crystal Lake for years, a chilling twist that made the supernatural villain seem more human than before. See, that's the problem. He's not human, you fucking cunt. He's not human. Ugh. God. Stupidity. However, long before the 2009 Friday the 13th origin story revealed the character had been hiding all these years, 1986's Part 6, Jason Live featured a scene that proved the franchise could have been effectively rebooted with the right change of location. The sequence wherein Jason comes across a corporate paintball retreat is played for laughs, but the same idea could be the basis of a great dark reboot if a group lost in the woods and at the mercy of Jason was taken more seriously. Jason's ability... See, this is the thing. You don't need to make him human for this. He's just mindlessly killing off people who he sees that are in his territory. It is pure comedy, but in the middle of a movie that was very meta, it was played very well. Still, my favorite movie in the entire franchise. Why Friday the 13th Part 6's tone is so silly. Yeah, it prioritized laughs over scares, yada, yada, yada. It's still a good fucking movie. Jason in the Woods is an underexplored pitch. Is this guy new here? He's killed how many people in the fucking woods? Like, I don't understand this. This writer's an idiot. This is the only thing that I like right here that he says. In this movie, we're going to watch this on the channel. Southern Comfort, 1981. It's available on YouTube. It's an hour and 45 minutes. We're going to do a watch party for this in October. I think we'll kick off the month of October with this watch party. Friday the 13th reboot featuring gentrifiers turning the supposedly haunted Camp Crystal Lake into a venue for extreme sports, only to be picked off one by Jason, would be a sharp satirical horror that could also stage some inventive original chase sequences, stretching Friday the 13th Part 6 paintball scene to a feature length could borrow from Southern Comfort. A disquieting thriller wherein a group of trespassing National Guardsmen are picked off by rural inhabitants of an isolated swamp after they steal their canoes. So, I'm saying you could do that, but set it in the 80s. Don't bring this into the modern age. You can make this... Look at the Fear Street movies on Netflix, all right? Those were done well. Not the best movies, but the aesthetic of them was done well. Look at American Horror Story, 1984. Done well. Looked fucking great. This could be much in the same vein. Seeing Jason pick off yuppies heading into the remote woods for a weekend would break into the franchise's routine and could do Texas Chainsaw Massacre's 2022 awkward gentrification satire right. Yeah, don't bring it into the modern age. That'll ruin it, because you'll have stupid quotas, and you'll have to have people with pronouns, and just take it back to where it belongs and let it live there. You know, even if you branched into, you know, the early 90s, you could still have much the same aesthetic, you know, but leave it in the woods in New Jersey at the camp. Don't move it to behind a pizza parlor dumpster. Friday the 13th 7's original plan would have totally changed the franchise. Yeah, Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, isn't the best sequel in the franchise, but its original plan could have brought on an Oscar-winning director. And let's see, we have Padraig Cotter. Jesus Christ. It's pronounced Pawrick, not Padraig. Okay, now that that's out of the way, brief introduction. Pawrick has been writing about film since 2012. When a friend asked if he'd like to contribute to the occasional review or feature on their site, part-time hobby. Okay, so this guy's a cunt too. Bring in, hang on, let's go back here. This guy wants to bring in, well, not wants to, but this was the crux, is Italian auteur Federico Fellini passed on the Friday the 13th Part 7. And that would have, you know, he directed La Dolce Vita and 8½. They wanted to bring him in. And this is a franchise retrospective done by GQ. It revealed that Friday the 13th associate producer Barbara Sachs had big designs for the project. The sequel marked her first producing credit, though she hated horror, which is not a good marriage for, you know, a producer, but the plan actually wasn't bad. According to the movie screenwriter Daryl Haney, her original concept would have seen developers covering up Jason's crimes at Crystal Lake in order to build some condos. Haney also claimed Sachs wanted it to win an Academy Award. To that end, several classy filmmakers were pursued for the movie. Okay, now the concept of them renovating Crystal Lake for purposes of, you know, covering it up, yes, some greedy land developers, that could have worked well in the 80s. I mean, think Goonies. Think that the villain, the developer from the Goonies, that type of character, although in the Friday the 13th vein, in that manner. I could have been great. It really could have been. And I don't think you need Federico Bellini to do this. Fellini. So honestly, this collection of articles, once I sit down and I kind of go through my thoughts with you guys on it, is this. If we are lucky enough to get a new Friday the 13th movie, I don't want modern sensibilities. I mean, as a fan, I don't know. I'd really like to toss it out there. If you're a Friday the 13th fan, if you're a fan of this franchise, throw it up to me in the comments. Let me know what era you would like to see this set in. Where would you like, obviously date-wise, where would you like to see, what decade? 80s, 90s, 2000s, the aughts, or modern, To me, it's 80s. It's got to be the 80s if you're going to be true to the franchise. And you don't need to bring Adrienne King's character back. She's dead. Just use the talent that, find some writers that love this. I would love to write a screenplay for this, as if I have the fucking ability to do that. I could write a story, but maybe not a screenplay complete with dialogue. I could definitely come up with an outline and ideas for a story, which I might do. Let me know if you guys want me to kind of come up with something like that on the side as like a side project. Hell, doing a Friday the 13th fan film would be easy for me, because I have 70 some acres at my disposal that I could use out between my parents and my in-laws. Which my in-laws' place is on a river, very isolated. My parents, isolated farmhouse, a lot of woods, a lot of swamp, which would be, I think it would be very cool to do. So it would be a lot of fun. But, I can shoot some video and let you guys see what I'm talking about too next time I'm out there. So let me know where you would like this sit. If you want to see, if you want me to kind of come up with a story or an outline for what I think they should do with a continuation of this franchise, not a reboot, it needs to be a continuation of part 8. Leave your thoughts in the comments. If today's the day I've earned it, subscribe to the channel and, do all the YouTube things, not just for me, for your other favorite YouTubers, as we greatly appreciate it. And that's it, gang. I'm done. Channel memberships are available if you so choose to join. Thank you and awesome. If not, subscribe. It's free. I'm Tepo Kuina, the place to be reviews. I've been here with all of you. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
I could do this all